Okay, so next we are going to see a custom form controls in Angular. We can build our own custom form controls that works with the reactive forms API. So we're going to see how to implement our own custom form controls. So very first we need to implement this control value accessor interface. This interface is an interface working as a mediator between a form control and the native element. So as we see here, we have created one text input component by implementing this control value accessor interface. So the control value accessor interface has four methods to override in implementation class. We are going to see one by one. So first is the write value method. This is the call for writing the value into a child form component form control. As we see here, we have override this write value method, and we are getting one value here, and we'll assign that value to our class member value. Then the next is a register on change method. Register on change method is a method to propagate native control value to a form control value. As you see here, we'll declare one on change property, which will be a function, and the function will take one string, as we are going to implement this custom form control for a string value. And then in override and register on change method, we are getting one function, and will assign this function to our this dot on change, as we declared one uh, property here in our class. In same way, we'll register on touched method. Okay, so register on touched uh, in as we have override this register on change method. In same way, we'll override register on touched method. So the child control can report its touched status back to the parent form via this method. So for that, we'll declare one property on touched, and its value would be the function. Then we will override register on touched method. We'll take one function, and that function will assign to this on touched property of a class. Then we'll set disable state. This is optional method to override from control value accessor interface. So we must also notify the parent form when child control was set to disable. So to set to disable, we'll declare one disabled property, and in this set disabled state overridden method we'll get disabled state, and we'll just assign that disabled state to our class member that is disabled. Till now we have override these four methods while implementing control value accessor interface. The next part is will inject the configure injection dependency injection configuration in a components metadata. So for this, we'll add this providers property in our component, and it takes an array, and will provide this ng value accessor token. As we see here, we have written one object here. It will take a provider token as a provide property, then multi true and use existing is a forward wrap method, will pass one function. As we see here, the provide multi and the use existing. And then in as we we'll going to see this fully implemented example of control value accessor here. So in a template, we have written one input control, and we are passing the value via ng model directive, and will trigger on change method of a class when this value is changed by user while adding the values in this input control. So then the next change is in a component decorator. So we'll write this provider's property in component decorator metadata, and the value of it is an array, and we are passing one object to it, and we'll use this provide use existing and the multi true. We are passing this ng value accessor token, and we are using forward ref or text input component. Then the next part is a actual the component. So we have declared this text input component by implementing this control value accessor interface, and we are overriding this write value register on change and register on touched method here. So for that we have declared one value proper value member of this class. Then we have declared on change function and on touched function, and then in a write value we are writing the updated value to this value property. In register on change method, will assign the on change function to our class member on change, and in a register on touched method will assign on touched function to our own on touched member of this class. So in this way we have created one custom form control text input.